Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me on Berets. Yeah, it's been a lot of WOTV videos and I've gotten super behind on my unit review videos, so I'm not doing that at the moment. But so anyway, first, before we get started today, shout out to everybody out there who is being careful and safe and taking all of the COVID-19 coronavirus stuff very seriously, and anyone who is, either self-isolating or, following the mandatory lockdowns or whatever. Good on you. Good to hear. Keep it up. You'll help probably save some lives in the long run, and that's important. But on a less serious note, we're here to talk about global WOTV, and welcome to the next guide. So you've re-rolled and you're mostly happy with what you got, and now what the hell am I supposed to do guide? Because a lot of people are so focused on re-rolling right now and keep asking the question of who should I be re-rolling for? Is this a good re-roll? Is this going to be good? Is this enough? Will I be able to continue living for the next 3 minutes with this re-roll? Most re-rolls are fine. I'm just going to give one final piece of advice before I move into this guide, and that is about awakening characters, because I've seen some people running full UR teams on global, and let me tell you, you're in for kind of a rude awakening. I said to people that you should probably be aiming for, I don't know, maybe like a team of 2, max 3 URs. If you're not a whale, if you are not spending a ton of money on buying rainbow rocks as well as UR orbs, well then you're going to have a lot of issues building a full team of URs. Building 3 URs will even take months, if not longer. So really, probably scale back. Like I said, 3 URs, any UR is generally going to be good for a good amount of time. It's just, we know for a fact from the JP side that Ayaka, Engelbert, Medina, and Stern are some of the probably the most long-term, really decent, really good long-term value units, okay? But anyway, if you want to see, take a look at Ketone here, my character who is currently awakened to 5-star, and it needs to awaken to the final stage in both limit breaking and as well as awakening. So what do you need for awakening a UR character at to LB5? Well, you need 200 of their shards and 3 UR orbs. How many UR orbs do you currently have? Probably not even that many, and there are more UR orbs that are needed to limit break up to this level. But this is the granddaddy of it. Awakening to 6-star for a UR character takes a lot of UR orbs, just a lot. 10 UR orbs, 150 of their elemental rocks, 5 of the rainbow rocks, which, by the way, you should always be trying to get every single rainbow rock that you can from any event that happens. If you don't, you're kind of foolish. And I'm trying to say that nicely, but you are foolish. You need to be getting these rainbow rocks, so earn them. Then you also need a lot of the flames, as well as some of the 6-star awakening flames or 5-star awakening flames on the way up. Point is you need a ton of UR orbs, and you're not going to get a ton of UR orbs for a good amount of time. So you kind of have to realize that unless you are spending money in this game, a level 99 character is a long-term out, especially UR. The benefit of going with SSR or Mega Rares in the global version, which Mega Rare sounds better than Ultra Rare, but I'm not here to talk about that. I can make a whole video about how dumb I think that is. Beep, beep, beep. But yeah, Mega Rares are, probably are a little bit better investment just because you don't need to worry so much about UR orbs. And the other thing is you have to remember is that there's going to be a lot of UR characters coming to the game in the next few months, both WOTV story characters, and then there's Orlando and Ramza, not to mention Gafirian, who's a free character, but more on that later. Point is that there are a lot of other characters, so you don't need to go all out. You're really better to just invest into 1 or 2 of the top 4 because they'll be a really good long-term value. And other than that, the stuff in the early game really doesn't need a ton of incredibly powerful characters. that's kind of where we're at 5 months in on the JP side. So long-term goals. All right, so now we can actually talk about the thing that I'm supposed to. 5 minutes into the video, I'm doing real well today. And that is, what the heck are you supposed to do once you get a reroll? Now, after you've done the step up, the thing that you should be doing is, in my opinion, not actually doing the beginner story right away. As many people have noted, beginner story feels really slow and takes a fair amount of time. It's a good amount of lapis and everything, but you probably shouldn't be spending your lapis right away anyway. Like, once you've got a good team, you focus more on kind of awakening or buying shards, less on pulls, since pulls are less guaranteed character shards. The thing that you need to be doing is story right from the get-go, and there's a big reason for that. Going all the way back to part 1, chapter 1, finishing mission 10 actually gets you 300 royal points, which unlocks for you something incredibly important for playing the game, the 1.5 times speed. Let's just put it this way. I have gone back from playing WOTV at 1.5 times speed to 1 time speed, and it feels really incredibly slow. As a matter of fact, almost a little suspiciously slow. But finishing the story up to Battle 10 in Chapter 1, Part 1 will give you the 1.5 times speed. At that point, you can progress with story. Story will give you more materials to start, leveling up your character's jobs, as well as it gives you more EXP and job points and everything like that. That is kind of the point of story. After that, you'll probably want to start getting into some of the other sections of the game, such as weapon crafting, although currently the only real weapon that's worth putting a ton of effort into crafting is Thancred's Gunblade, which can be used on different characters, but is a pretty strong sword at the beginning of the game. So it gives you some options there. There will be future weapon farming events. Currently we have one on the JP side, so it's a good way to show you. In our far plane, you go down, and you have events like this where you are able to farm recipes to make SSR quality weapons. Those will be starting after the FF14 event, so don't get too out of shape about weapons. And as for the upgrade books, you don't need to do arena, because you can actually farm them too when their events start. But again, that's going to be a later thing. But I guess I shouldn't exit out of there, because there is something else that you should be doing, which is far plane stuff. Far plane stuff is where you're going to be logically headed to as well. One of the most important things, you'll notice that you have many different daily things that you can farm. You can farm yellow and pink materials, which you guys on global don't need. You're not going to need for a little while. You can farm limit burst up, as well as TMR up pots, which are also, again, a thing you don't really need to worry about. Most limit bursts aren't worth leveling besides Medinia and Ayaka currently, so you don't need to worry about that. From there is also weapon upgrading crystals, as well as card upgrading crystals. Those are okay. EXP, I completely say, is worthless. You do not need to farm EXP orbs, except maybe for a daily mission or something like that, but these are a waste of stamina for the most part. EXP orbs just don't really give enough bang for the value, and when you're doing so much farming, that's where you're going to get your EXP for your characters anyway, so don't do it. But the thing that you need to be doing every single day at the beginning of the game is Gill Snappers, or Gold Snappers, or whatever the heck they're calling them. You will need a ton of gold for leveling up your characters, your cards, your weapons, as well as, not to mention, your character's skills and abilities. There's just a lot of uses for gold, also buying stuff from the shop, so be farming this every single day. And I don't think it should be said at this point, but the last thing that you guys should be farming is your FF14 event. You should be farming enough currency to get those tickets every day. You should be using those tickets to try and get Thancred or Thancred shards or anything like that. So yeah, be farming FF14. The higher level stages will give you more currency, but the currency rate drop isn't great, and it wasn't great on JP's side. There should be more currency dropped from the raid. Not a ton, but more. The EX stages of the FF14 event are your best farming, but they will be difficult at the start for you guys. That's just the way it is. It's definitely the EX stages at this point are definitely aimed a little bit more towards people spending money. So don't sweat FF14 so much. It's not going to be that important in the long run. Thancred is just really nice to get, though. Alright, and so to recap, the things that you should be doing is story-based content before the beginner's quests. Story will give you that just till you at least get story 1.5 times speed. Then start doing everything else. Farm your cactars every day. If you're in the far plane, you can also farm the awakening materials every day. You should be doing the FF14 event. And of course the beginner missions, because they give you a fair amount of lapis, as well as, not to mention, a multi-summon ticket, and that's always great. Try and do your bingo cards. Bingo cards just give you, some nice bonuses, lapis and whatnot, so do it. And the only other thing that bears worth mentioning is the shop. Now, a lot of people are asking, what should I buy? What should I not buy? My general rule is that anything other than character shards that costs lapis is a 100% don't buy. You should never be doing that. Most of these, the lapis costs in the shop are terrible. You can get these things in other ways from farming story and whatnot. Just don't do it. Take, for instance, yellow orbs for 5 lapis. Holy God, would never buy this. Never, never, never. Now, anything for gold is fair game, and it's up to you, and it depends if you need them or depends if you really want them. Take these, for example, for building weapons. 40,000, I've got 100 million gold, so let's go with it and just buy it. That's totally fine. Or these potatoes, also great for making weapons. Now, as for recipes and whatnot, again, there will be equipment farming stuff later, so this is a lot of gold to spend on this when you probably should be spending gold on upgrading your characters too. So I just don't really recommend that. In terms of character shards, if you are focused in on 3 URs, these are almost always good to be buying for whatever character you are currently building. For instance, Ayaka is in my shop right now. Absolutely, I am building Ayaka 100%. I am 79 out of 200 shards. By buying this, I am just getting a little bit closer to my goal of getting her fully TMR'd, and it just speeds up the process a little bit. That's what free lapis is really for. Whenever you have a new event with new characters, there will always be a specific shop for them, which will have character shards. For instance, right now in Japan, we have Warrior of Light. He is the brand new character that everybody is trying to get. Well, guess what? Once you get him, you can actually buy for 6,000 free lapis a total of 120 character shards. That's enough to get you very well on your way to LB Limit Break 3, which is kind of your goal as a free-to-player for any of your UR characters. In the time-limited shops, always, if you can, buy any UR orbs or rainbow orbs. They should always be your first and foremost primary thing. Again, lapis cost stuff, especially rainbow EXP orbs, never buy. It is the biggest mistake you will ever make with lapis in this game. And then don't forget that every day there will be random elemental shops too. These are for specific characters as well. Like you can see here, we have Lucia, Yerma, as well as Ayaka shards. Again, if you're building the character and if that's the one you're focusing on, and really focus on one character at a time. Really focus on one character at a time. If you have some extra lapis that you want to try and build a secondary character, okay, but a little more back burner. Focus on long-term value characters, because eventually there will be other characters that you want to add into the game. So yeah, that's just a lot. The big thing. Right now, for the longest time, just to give one quick example, I was focusing on her because I absolutely love Dragoons. She's an ice elemental unit, which I did not have built currently at that point, so she was my focus, and she is incredibly powerful now. I was only buying her shards. I was making sure to farm her character shards daily, and then I got, I have fully TMR'd her in approximately a month. Got really lucky with duplicates and on her banner, but that's RNG for you. And the only other thing to talk about is difficulty quests, hard quests. This is something that I have not talked about, but these are unlocked as you progress through the story. If you continue to the end of chapter 1, part 1, you will have unlocked the first one where you can farm for Mont shards. Don't farm for Mont shards. You can actually get them from the shop for gold only, and they're super cheap compared to everything else in the game, and you'll be fine. You can also go up against characters' hard quests. These are difficult quests that you need a character to be at level 40 to challenge. When you do, you can get some resources for them. You will also unlock a ability that will make that character more powerful. But anyway, once you have a character that you are specifically wanting to farm for, so let's go back out for a second and let's go over here, I think. Nope, wrong one. There it is. Currently, I am farming for her, so every day I will be doing these quests because it gives 2 character shards per day. Again, you need a lot of character shards to fully limit break some any character in this game, but slowly farming, you will eventually get there as a free-to-player, or even if you are spending in the game. Again, long-term value. Characters are very, very long-term goals in WOTV, and that is something that you should recognize. Rushing down characters unless you're spending a fortune, and I don't advise against that, or I don't advise that, sorry. Yeah, anyway. So, there you go. There's my advice for you, what you should be focusing on now currently with WOTV in full swing, and hopefully many of you have had good luck on your rerolls. It's time to start playing, it's time to start farming, and it's go beat those Sin Eaters in the FF14 event. So anyway, hope you have found this video helpful. If you have any questions, again, I'm trying to get through them, but after an entire day of answering a lot of questions for people, I'm chilling a little bit. I'm having a cup of tea, I'm playing some A Link to the Past randomizers, and I'm going to play a little Doom Eternal as well. So anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. Take care, best of luck, and of all things, please stay safe out there. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, and it's going to be a crazy year. So definitely take care, everybody. See you next time.